Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So, thank you, everybody. You could put your hands down now a bit. Yes, thank you. So now, I'm going to be taking you on a question called Moritz. It is amongst the questions that Sheyi dropped on the group chat about 10 minutes ago. Is the last question. So please just look at it. It's on the WhatsApp group. It's called Moritz School. Moritz School, please. And I'm also displaying it on my screen, just in case. Okay. So we'll be taking so the approach in solving this question is as this is a revision class, you guys would be telling me the answers as usual, and then we would basically assess it, right? So you guys are going to do more of the giving of the answers while I just basically listen, right? So does anybody want to read? And we are going to look to we would actually solve. So when everybody is putting down their answers, right? I want everybody to put down answers for both 3AI and 3AII. So you guys will actually jot down your answers, and then you guys will literally tell the whole class what you have written. So let me read the question. Yeah, hi. Hello. Okay, I believe I can proceed, yeah? So let me just proceed. But does everybody have a question? I'll
No,
take that
I
as a
don't.
is in the group chat. Is in the group chat.
The last question I'm seeing on the group right now, it's a very short question. Oh, apology.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No problem. No problem. So let me read. Yeah. So first things first, what's the question asking us to do? The question is asking us to explain the matters to be considered by Moritz and co. before accepting the engagement. I think instead of reading, I think let me let you guys read. So we would reconvene by 20 by 2:20. By 2:20, please. So
Sorry,
by
I don't
that
have this
time,
question.
he's in the WhatsApp group chat. He's in the WhatsApp group chat.
Hello. The question on
Is
WhatsApp group, the one that you're projecting now.
yes. In case maybe you want to see it. Yeah, I'm projecting also as in the same way is also in the group chat. So either way, you can read from my screen. Either way, either one you want to do. So please, we would reconvene by 2:26. I'm giving everybody 10 minutes. That please read the question and jot down your answers for 3A and 3AII. We would reconvene by 2:26, please. 2:26. I mean, that's enough time for everybody to have jotted down their answer. Thank you.
Can you hear your voice, please?
So what do you say? And what do you say? Hello, everybody. It is 2:26, and I believe everybody is ready with their solution. And can we start? Does somebody want to start, please? Does somebody want to start? Yes, hello.
Actually,
Yeah,
okay,
hi.
for 1A, right?
Yeah, 1A.
Matters to be considered. Okay, they'll consider their competencies and resources, if they have the competence and skills and resources. By resources, I mean skills to audit, to perform these assignments as the PFI assignment. They will need to know if they have, they'll need to understand the nature and scope of this work.
Okay, why the nature and scope? Why?
Okay, to know if it's not beyond this, to know what it entails, so that it can help their deliverable and help them understand how to charge the fee as well. Okay, I'll stop here so that others can contribute.
Thank you. Okay, Dennis, your hand was up. Hello, Dennis. Your hand was up. Hello, Dennis. Does anybody else again want to try? Does anybody else again want to contribute? Juliet, Mercy.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. What's up, Mercy?
I think you should also consider the intended users, whether it's specific or general. It was stated that it's to be used for the workers.
For the what? Please come again.
The intended users, if they are general or specific. So it was stated in the question that they want to use it for their bank account support application for increase. So it should be specific to that and not used for other purposes.
Fantastic. Okay. Does anybody else again want to try?
I think they should consider the time frame.
Time frame. Okay. So what about the time frame?
The focus is for. Sorry, I'll come back.
Okay, I'll come back to you now.
There's something like a advocacy threat.
We are still looking at reasons why you accept, and they are jumping into advocacy threats. So the question is just asking you, why do you think you accept it? So yeah, so instead of you saying jumping into advocacy threats, so why don't you can just simply just make it general, right? And just be like, you are going to review if maybe you have any ethical issues, right? If maybe you yourself, right? So you offering them this service really pose an ethical threat to you, right? Instead of letting it be specific, right? So do you want me to come back to you again for you to rephrase the answer?
No, I'm fine.
Nope. I'll come back to you. You're still aiming one. You're still aiming one. No. Let me mark.
I think you need to consider the
period covered by the PFI, because shorter term forecasts are easy to verify than long term forecasts. So they also need to consider that as well.
Are you sure shorter term forecasts are easier to ascertain than longer term forecast?
Yes, because I mean, when the period is long, you cannot tell. There are a lot of uncertainties involved. So how are you able to explicitly tell what is going to happen in the future due to various uncertainties that you're not even aware of?
Nature of assumptions.
Fees.
I think you need to understand the business industries.
Understand the industry. Why you understand the industry?
You need to understand the business to understand if the basis for this forecast is even reasonable given the industry and the business.
Okay. So you would do that. So okay. So let me now twist it. Let me put the one before the other. So basically, for you to before you accept the engagement, yes, you're actually correct, but it's just the way you phrase it, right? So the assumptions, the reasonableness, right, of the assumptions need to be ascertained as it has to be in line with your understanding of the business. Firstly, understanding of the business, right? understanding of the industry that pertains to your clients, and also on the applicable regulations. It could be accounting and regulatory and regulatory. Is that fine?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, we are not the existing auditors, so we need to find out why the existing auditors are not being engaged to carry out this assignment.
So now, first things first, let's go back to the questions to see if maybe we are due. Okay. But definitely, right? So regardless of okay, so let me not put understanding of the business because we don't have any. When you have a meeting with them, they obviously do not start telling you everything about their business. Okay, so I know that they are not. Sorry, hold on, please. I know that we're not their audit clients, right? But then again, by the time you obviously, you would have had like 2 or 3 discussions with top management, right? Before you can now even start.
Tunde, that's not my point. My point is that they might be. My point is that one would have expected, except there's some reason why they are not going to their auditors, since they have a better understanding of the business. So it might border on integrity of management or some other things like that. So that's why that you would normally want to find out why they have not, or you should be inquisitive why they are not giving the assignment to their own auditors who have a better understanding of their business.
So it didn't say whether it was listed or not. Okay, that can fly. But then again, I'm just even in thoughts.
Sorry, can I something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please, if you check the question, I think
Mhm.
towards the first paragraph, towards the end, first paragraph, it was saying that Motories and Co. has already conducted specific client identification, which means that they've done some findings already, which means they already have a little bit understanding about the firm.
Understanding, basically, yeah.
You understand? I don't think it's relevant if we are saying that again, because the question has actually specified it in the scenario.
So first things first, right? As regards the point raised by someone earlier on, right? As regards reasons why we're not going to, why we need to know the reason why they're not going to get media current auditors to know why they're not giving it person to review their PFI. I'll come back to that point because I'll address that point. I'll hold on to that point. I'll not forget. But now, this second response, right, as regards why we're still including understanding of the entity inside here, right, is simply because number one, when they did this process, right, when they did this process, client identification procedures, right, it was just simply basically saying, okay, what does this person do? If this person is in one industry, what kind of things do they do? What's their revenue and all of that, and who are the directors and all of that, right? But then again, you can now see that in my forecast, for example, right? Let's say in my forecast, for example, I have simply said that my VAT is 5%, right? For example, and then again, let me not even say that. So I'm thinking of okay, for example, this is even better. Let's say that my client, right? My client has an oil field in a deep water region, okay? In a deep water region, and then you know that well, last 2 years or last year, I can't remember, no, 2019, yeah. So there was a new act, right, for the Deepwater Act, whereby the royalty rates were changed based on a new formula, right? Now, with the earlier understanding I had with my clients that, okay, that yes, that you're in the Deepwater region and all of that, during my client identification process, that was the understanding I got from them, right, about the way their business is and all of that. So if maybe in their forecast they are telling me that they are still using the old royalty act to calculate their royalty, then that's not in line with my understanding of the business and even understanding of regulations. So do you see where that's why this is important, why we need to compare the forecast with the assumptions still with the understanding of the business, which we got during the client identification procedure. Should I take it again and maybe take it slower? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let me take it again and so let me take it again and take it slower, right? So now, like I said, so let's go back to the question. During the client identification procedure, right? I would have already done so many things in the sense that I would have had an understanding on, okay, what kind of business is my client involved in? Who are the directors, right? So they can tell me, obviously, let's say, for example, they're into oil and gas, right? And they tell me that they have 4 oil rigs, okay? And they tell me that, okay, they have 1 rig in the Deepwater region, okay? That's all still mine because I must at least build a profile of the person before I can now say, let me jump and give work to you, right? So they have told me that they have some oil rigs in the Deepwater region. Okay, no problem, noted. And then they now tell me that, okay, we need you to help us do a forecast, right? And I'm like, okay, before I accept your engagement, let me see the assumptions that. Sorry, please, could someone mute, please? Please mute? Please mute. Okay. So they told me that, okay, Tunde, please, we need you to please come and help us look at our forecast. And I say, fine, no problem. And I say, okay, fine, no problem. Let me see your assumptions and let me hear your assumptions and then let me hear your forecast, right? And then I see in their forecast that their assumptions is that their royalty, and I also stated that in 2019 there was a change in the royalty calculations for oil rigs in the Deepwater region, right? Now, in their assumptions, they are telling me that they are using a royalty rate, and this is how they calculate their royalty rate based on the old formula, right? Then again, that is non-avoid, right? That is wrong because it's not consistent, right? It's not consistent with what I already know about your business, and it's not also consistent with what is with the regulations, right? So this point of understanding of the business will still stay simply because you are trying to ascertain the assumptions due to what your pre-informed knowledge about the client. So yes. Does anybody have another point again?
Yes. I'll consider if it is only the cash flow forecast that is in the PFI or there are other forecasts in the PFI.
So now that would be under procedures, right? I will say let's put that under procedures, right? But you even, at least first of all, your discussing with them about the scope, you were like really just covers, okay, am I just looking at your numbers? What am I looking at, right? So it is already covered under scope of work. But under procedure, then you cannot start saying that you want to do this and do all of that, right? So that will be under scope of work.
Okay.
So I have written that we should check the integrity of management of Labensa. Okay, so if there are things that cast doubts on the PF or the forecast, and which points to questioning the integrity of the management, then we may not accept the assignment. So I don't know how to.
So basically, Yeah, no, it's just simple as that. Client integrity, just simple like that, straightforward like that. Client integrity, right? And just like what Ari just explained, right? You need to, you can't. So, for example, right? Even doing your client identification process, right? You would have Googled the person, right? You would have searched their name online, right? And if maybe there's any fraudulent case, maybe one of their directors has been involved in a fraudulent case, or something has just basically smeared their names, right? You definitely don't want to be seen as doing business with them, right? Based on you yourself as the audit firm, you guys have your own reputation to, you have your own, your own reputation to literally maintain, right? And you also want to look independent, basically, in case maybe there's any threats coming up, right? So client integrity, so simple as that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry, but I thought the client would have been justified from money laundering analysis, which came out as satisfactory.
Okay, so what if maybe they are involved in bribery? Bribery is not money laundering now, in a sense, or maybe, for example, they are involved with some breaching regulations. That's not money laundering now, yeah. So client integrity. So, for example, you might say in the yeah. Okay, so sorry to cut you short. So, for example, you might see in a question whereby that I believe I can't remember the question, but I know it's a NOCLA question whereby you see that management were using harmful fertilizers, right? And then and they actually fired the whistleblower, right? So yeah, so client integrity is something that you look at. Yeah.
Okay, what about fees? We have not considered fees. If it's commensurate with the work.
And determine the fees to be charged. So I think that's already covered inside here. I know Arit gave that, so it's already covered inside here, really.
Today, can I say something? So first of all, I think that we're being too generic in our answers. We're not relating it to the case. For example, C says specific general distribution of PFI, but the question already tells us that they are preparing it for the bank. So we know that it is a specific one. So I don't think that one will fly in this case, if you understand what I mean.
But we will need to obtain representation to be sure that it's what it is.
No, it's already stated there that the reason they are preparing the forecast is to increase their overdraft facility from 12 million to 17 million with their bankers. So it's specifically for the bankers. So I don't think that specific general distribution is really going to be relevant in this case.
So the question says the company has an existing overdraft facility of 12 million with its bankers and has requested an increase in the facility to $17 million. I don't see in here whereby it simply says that it's solely for the bankers.
If you go to the second paragraph, Lafenza Co. has approached your firm in order to obtain an independent assurance opinion and cash flow forecast, which is being prepared for its bankers in support of an application
for an increase in existing overdraft facility. So my question is, so I get you, right? I get you. So what you can just simply say in this question is,
I think, okay, so for me, what I would have said is
strictly,
you need to consider, since the information is going outside the organization, we need to ensure that as auditors, we provide reasonable assurance, because if it goes outside the organization and it ends up that the information that you provided an assurance on was wrong, it will affect your reputation as an auditor.
So I get you, right? I get you. But then another thing I also want to also raise is this, right? So in your audit report, right, in your audit opinion, it is actually titled to the shareholders, right, of the company. If you check in the audit opinion, it's titled to the shareholders of the company, right? And I know there's like a clause whereby that, whereby it's all stated in there that any third party should not be, should not rely on it, right? It is solely for the shareholders, right? You're addressing solely for the shareholders, right? So now, yeah, you still need because you know that, right? In fact, that even comes to my next point, whereby you need to agree the elements of the PFI with the client, with the potential client, in the sense that you definitely still need to ask the person that is this PFI strictly for specific, limited, or is it for general distribution? Simply because that they might use it. So, for example, yes, they are preparing it for bankers, right? But then again, you really do not know who management is going to give your report to, right? Because you're not with them strictly, the whole day, 24/7, right? So I will simply say you still need to ask them, is it specific or is it general? Then in your answer, you can simply just continue and now simply state that you are trying to, that you're confirming because that's so just like what I actually have in there, to confirm strictly that the PFI is solely for the bankers, right? Or if it's for general distribution, right? So you still need to at least ask them if they have the thought process of still giving it to somebody else, simply because they can. What if maybe the banker, let's just say, what if maybe the bank, or let's say, for example, they have an investor, a potential investor, right? So are you saying that they will now come and call you, the auditor, that come and do what you did again on this forecast that you will give to the bank, right? They can simply just still give it to the investor, and and the investor would rely on your work. So yes, please. Strictly for specific and distribution of the PFIs needs to be asked from them. Yeah. So I'm going to remove this. And this. The elements of the PFI needs to be discussed and agreed. Basically. Can we go to the next point? To the next question, sorry. To next to II. Let's check out II. Does anybody have any audit procedures that you have for this? Audit procedures to examine a cash flow forecast.
Perform analytical procedures on the inclusion on the online credit sales to confirm its accuracy, and if management has taken into consideration the various payments, credit payments expected in various months.
What sort of analytical procedures?
So recomputation, trend analysis.
Okay.
They actually give figures, 10%, 62%, and different. So if that has been incorporated.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Could you come and give me the answer?
Okay,
Hello?
so I was saying perform where did I put it? Analytical procedures on the online sales credit to confirm its accuracy, and if management has taken into consideration the various payments expected in various months based on the historical percentages.
So you still use the word analytical procedures, but which analytical procedures?
Oh, sorry, trend.
Is regulation to confirm accuracy of the payment of, they said they provided historical analysis from its trade receivables ledger. So you need to perform a recalculation to ensure that what they provided for you ties to what they've said as 10% pay in the month of sales, 62%. So basically you recalculate to confirm the arithmetical accuracy of the analysis from the trade receivables ledger. Oh my God.
and the remainder are irrecoverable debts. Please, could you just give me 1 minute, please. Sorry. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, so you said basically recomputation of the trade receivables ledger, right? To ascertain the historical rates that were that is being used for the forecast.
Yeah.
So
Hi, today. So, in line with the points that she just raised, can we say something like checking the bank statement to actually confirm the inflows and how they projected that they received the inflows or in 10% first month and like that?
So, what comfort would that give you?
Well, it will give me a comfort that these percentages of their estimated recovery is kind of correct. I don't know.
I think it will give us a comfort that they are actually receiving money from their creditors and they are not just putting it there so that they can use that to get the increments in their overdraft facilities from the bank. What if they don't actually get these monies? What if majority of these things are actually irrecoverable debts? So I think it will give us that comfort that yes, these people actually are able to recover their credits, the sales they make on credits from their creditors based on the terms.
Okay.
I have another point.
Mm-hmm.
We have to inquire from the management that the accounting policy is used in the forecast is consistent with the accounting policy in the financial statement.
I'm coming on. Okay. So basically, right, you are simply just saying that so you are definitely going to inspect the cash flow forecast, right, to confirm that the accounting policy used is in line with the last audited financial statements. Am I right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Okay. Let me not say this answer.
I have a point.
Okay, I'm coming, please. I'm coming now. Okay.
I have a point.
Point.
Oh yeah. Speak, please. Anybody, please. Anybody.
Okay. So we could also say that we can perform a trend analysis, look at what their historical figures have been and see if it makes sense with what they are projecting. So that just to ensure that they are not overstating revenue and understating certain expenses just to make the cash flow forecast look good. So we have to check the reasonability of, the numbers in their forecast, looking at their past performance.
So let me put that in a different way. And if we could we could obtain any previous forecast that have been made and compare that to actual results to see the reasonableness of this forecast that have been made. If my men had made forecast before, any earlier forecast they made, compare that with actual results so that we can use that to basically look at the reasonableness of the forecast that they're making, considering the performance that we've had from the previous forecast.
So I'll simply say that in fact these are two. So I will say that these are two different. I'll say these are two points that I want to put on a standalone basis. Yeah. Thanks for that. So for the first point that that she raised, right? So we can simply say compare the forecast trend, right, with historical cash flow forecast and other relevant data to ascertain
Assess consistency.
Consistency and reasonableness, really, right? Then we can also say inspect the historical forecasts that have been prepared. Compare the historical forecasts that have been prepared by management to actual results to ascertain the probability of such forecast coming into existence.
I have another point. I would obtain a breakdown of the expenses. Or no, let me. I will say I will inquire from the management whether tax in the forecast.
Sorry?
The background
Hello?
noise. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. There was a noise at your end.
It was not my end, but okay. I said I will inquire from the management whether tax outflow or tax expense has been included in the cash flow forecast.
So looking at this,
is tax specifically mentioned here?
mentioned to
but
There's no
this
tax
question.
expense here, so I would inquire if whether they included it maybe in a breakdown, or I'll just find out whether or not. But it's supposed to be included because it's an outflow.
you know what will happen? Instead of asking for being specific, why don't you not ask for overheads? What do you think is on that overhead?
Yeah, I was going to say a breakdown of the expenses to confirm whether tax expense has been included. But
But
then
why are you so key on tax expenses? Why are you so key on tax
because
expenses?
I'm
There could have
looking
been
out.
other things.
Okay, I'm just looking out for missing items that should have been in the forecast that was not.
So I
I
think
think
that's. So I
You
think
can
maybe
check,
that's.
you can check for non-cash item in like depreciation in the overheads.
Over exactly, and so that's what's. So in the example, right? So somebody has said to somebody made a statement, right, as regards this. This is whenever you're given any forecast question, right? So there are about 3 standard things that at least should always be there, right? Somebody has said this first one, okay? Then the remaining 2, I'll say it once we are done giving all our answers, right? But then again, we also have this one also, right? Then a bonus point is also that you should always ask for a breakdown. So, when you're looking at forecast, it's like you didn't prepare it, right? If you didn't prepare it, so you need to basically have professional skepticism on as regards every single thing that you cannot really ascertain, right? So you can simply say discuss with management as regards the breakdown, or can say instead of saying discuss, so let's say obtain, right? And obtain from management the breakdown of the overheads to confirm that non-cash items such as depreciation and amortization has not been included in the forecast. Also, inspect the forecast. Inspect the breakdown, right? Or can say review the breakdown to confirm that I don't want to use the word that correct classifications or appropriate items have been included. That's let us say appropriate items. If I say appropriate items, then it means that I'm basically repeating what I'm saying about. So let's just
What about for
leave it at that.
what about for completeness?
So completeness is you are comparing this to this, right? So for example, I will not really say completeness because, right, for example, there might some things that are applicable to me. For example, if I'm an oil and gas company, you definitely see royalty as regards, right, my forecast. But if maybe for example, you see development cost, oil development cost, right, in my forecast, or someone that is maybe FMCG, you will not see in there, right? So completeness is when maybe, for example, you have a detailed listing, right? And then you're comparing to like your geo balance to see maybe it ties or not, right? So yeah. So completeness is not, it won't, yeah.
I have
Also,
another one.
Okay, I
yeah.
have one. Obtain a copy of the loan agreement to review the terms and conditions, to ascertain the company's compliance with those terms and conditions, and assess the reasonableness that they would get an increase in the overdraft facility.
Okay, so now the stuff is this year. If maybe so I will not really put it like that, right? Simply because the let me hear what you said at the ending. You said something at the ending that I want to address.
So I was referring to item. I was referring to the item 5 down there. So on item 5, we are told that the company has an existing overdraft of 12 million, which is bankers, and has requested an increase in the facility to 17 million. So my understanding of this is that some of the assumptions of the cash flow is based on the 17 million overdraft, that they're going to get an overdraft of 17 million. So I'm saying that obtain the loan agreement, review the terms and conditions to see that the company is complying with the present terms and conditions, and to also maybe to split into two, also discuss the assumptions that they would get an increase in the overdraft to 17 million.
So that second part, let's hold on to that part. But that your first response, yes. So it's in the sense that review the terms and conditions and all that. But then again, right, even looking at this forecast, right, I can't see where they have even included the interest cost of this 12 million, right? And another thing is this, right? If you look at the terms and conditions of this 12 million now that you already have, right? Does it seem like, because just like what you said, this forecast was calculated based on the 12 million, right? But the interest cost, we cannot see it inside here. So that's number one. Then number two, if they don't obtain this there, if maybe, for example, management does not give them this 17 million, right? Do we still think that the numbers in here are going to be like this? So that's the question that we should ask each other. So I'll take it again.
I think we already addressed the interest one, because I don't know who was saying something about tax. So if we get, they might have just lumped it up somewhere, maybe in overheads or something. So if we get the breakdown and then we now see that, oh, these things that we're supposed to be.
Are we supposed to make such assumptions for them?
So when I meant to make such assumptions, that's why we're asking for the breakdown. But then again, we still definitely need to still ask them that did they include interest cost inside? But again, it would have already been addressed inside that overheads point that we already raised. That's why we're asking for the breakdown. So let's put our answer like this. Inspect the terms and conditions of the current loan agreement to ascertain if management is in compliance. You can say this: inspect the loan agreement to ascertain in compliance with its terms and conditions.
Can I say my points now?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, so I would obtain a previous forecast and the actual result, and review for any inconsistencies in order to confirm, or in order to confirm the effectiveness of management in preparing forecast.
Could you come again, please?
I will obtain a prior period forecast and the actual results, review for any inconsistent fluctuations, in order to ascertain the effectiveness of management in preparing forecast. Or to do this, I could also inquire from management the qualification of the person that prepared the forecast.
So we already addressed the first statement that you raised, right? We already addressed it when we're talking about when we're talking about, I'm looking forward to this, right? But now you raise a second a valid one as regards something about
The qualification.
exactly.
Effectiveness
So assess the competence, right, and experience, right, of the preparer of the forecast of the PFI, right? So let's take it as that.
Okay. Agree the cash balance to the cash flow, to the cash flow and bank statements.
Come again, please. What do you say?
Agree the opening cash balance to cash flow and bank statements.
How much is opening balance? I think it's about 19, or is it 19 million?
91, 93.
91, 93. So please, this is the second key point that you should always give in every cash flow forecast. Is it thousands? Yeah.
Can we say recalculate the forecast to confirm arithmetical accuracy, like the entire forecast?
So instead of but instead of saying recalculate, you can just simply say casting. So you can literally just cast the cash flow forecast to confirm the mathematical accuracy, right? I'm coming, but okay, let me just put that there. And this is the third point. Yeah, you can just simply say cast it, right?
Then obtain a copy of the payroll.
Why don't you the payroll?
Obtain a copy of the payroll to confirm the salaries. The salaries, and agree to bank statements. The most recent payroll. This to agree the salaries.
Please, I'm coming. Give me just. Oh wow. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah. Could you come again, please? Please come again. Something good news just came in. So yeah.
You want to share?
This life is nice. Please, yeah. No way. Let's continue, please.
Okay,
I'm
I
so
said
happy. Yeah.
obtain. I'm happy for you. Obtain the current payroll so as to agree the salary, the amount for salaries to the payroll and bank statement.
So this is forecast. They have not paid it yet, though.
Yes, but that will give you an idea of what the opening balance is, what it's starting with, and then we can now look at maybe the growth rates or other assumptions that is used for the other three months. From here, we can obviously see that it reduced and all that, and then it increased in the last quarter. But we need to even start, where does the foundation come? For instance, if they had paid 9 million in December, in the month of December, or the 3 last months, for instance, then you expect that if nobody has resigned based on the payroll, then you should expect to see the same, at least not too far from what it was last December, for instance, to the current month that they want to start with.
So I'll say, what, that is going to be a lot of mumbo jumbo, right? Like a whole of, going to town, all of that. Why don't you not just discuss with them? So I like what you did, right? In the sense that you did a little bit of trend in what you just said right now, based on percentages, right? So instead, why can't you not just say that, discuss with management as regards why, because you can see that from December 2005 to March to June 0606. You can see it is increasing. So why not not discuss with them to ask them their basis for the growth rates? Is it that they are going to increase more staff, or is it that they are going to increase the wages of people? So I think it's best to just have that discussion with them. Don't you think so? I don't know.
But
What do you think
Tunde,
about that?
they said that the company is planning to extend its operations by opening new shops. So isn't that enough reason for the salaries to increase?
So I open new shop, right? But then again, yes, you're right. So it's the basis for salary, yeah. But so another question is now this, right? Is if maybe so even the people that at the shops I'm opening, they didn't tell us the number of people I'm going to employ there. They did not even tell us, right? So it might be one kiosk that I open and then I just pay somebody maybe 100 naira, right? So at least let us still know that I get your point, but still discuss with them that okay, they are in here. Okay, you know what? In fact, let me ask. So why is it that in 31st December 2005, why is it that your salary reduced? In fact, let's not even look at growth rates, about expansion. Let's even look at why did your salary reduce? Why are you forecasting that your salary is going to reduce in 31st December 2005? Why? What do you think about that?
Of course, you confirm from management, but it could be that a key management staff has resigned and has given them 3 months notice, which elapsed.
No, I also think that because they said that they have seen a decline in core operations in recent years, and they said in order to reverse this decline, they want to extend operations.
But remember, this is a forecast. Remember, this is a forecast.
Okay, so then why don't we say we inquire of management as to reasonability of the assumptions behind this forecast? So I'll give you two examples. The first one is what makes them think that they would be able to increase the company's market share by 3%? How did they arrive at that 3%? What is driving that assumption? The second one is the cost of the new high street shops. These are things that they are just building this shop. What are the assumptions? What are the estimates that they use in arriving at this cost? How did they get it? What is the reasonability of this cost? So I think something we can help to find from the from management.
Discuss. Thanks for that. That's the angle going. So you know that. So I should put it like this, right? Management can. So for example, you know how. For example, right? So let's say I was involved in something, right? I was involved in something whereby they said that, so I was involved in something whereby how deferred tax assets, right? Deferred tax asset reduces your taxable profits, right? So that you literally don't pay a high tax this year. Instead, you pay a high tax next year, obviously, right? But now the thing is that management has made a forecast that that next year that we'll have deferred tax assets to reduce, blah, 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 right? That we're going to be profitable next year and all of that, right? Now, looking at their assumptions, right, it definitely makes sense, right? Just because so let me not say, so they'll tell you the assumptions that blah, 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 right? But then again, you yourself, right, you also need to, apart from just discussing with them, right, from the lady that just earlier on spoke, right, apart from discussing with them, you also need to also have look at the reasonableness of it, and also even ask yourself if maybe you will need to involve an expert, right? So I think that should be a point that somebody should be thinking about as regards how you can also even involve an expert, right? So for example, management has told you that, we have one oil well that will feel that is going to be commercial next year and it's going to give us about 950, no, about let's say 80,000 barrels per day, right? For example, right? Then you definitely need to now start. You yourself cannot know if maybe it is going to produce or not, right? But then again, what then can you do, right? You definitely need to start asking for reports. Oh, another point. You ask for reports, right? You ask for reports to back up all of all of this, right? So you ask for reports. So they would have definitely done some annual oil well revaluations, review, and all of that, right? So definitely, when you see all of these things, so it gives you an idea that okay, fine, the assumption seems accurate, right? It seems reasonable. So yeah, so I would simply say discuss with them, right? And would talk about salaries and all of this in here. So let's see. So discuss is management as regards their assumptions, such as the reduction in salaries as at, please, can somebody help with the reduction rate of salaries between 05 and between September 05 and December 05? There can somebody also do a change between 06, 31st March 06 and 31st December 05, please? Can somebody do that, please? Hello?
2.0
Calculation.
for the first one. 2.0.
0. Okay, that'll be minus 2.0, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the second one, please. Second one, please.
From December to March, 1.0.
Then also, how did they think? Then another thing also that you also want to do is this okay, we can do this also. Also the steady increase. Let me see. I believe there was a steady increase in cash sales throughout the whole year, right? Throughout the whole 3 months period, right? Also the steady increase in cash sales from both is high end and what else again, please? High end and yeah, high street and online. High street and online. And online. Mm-mm. 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 Inspect they want to increase shops, right? They want to increase shops. If they want to increase shops, they must have a plan, a building plan. Am I right? So where's the shop, please? Where is the a bit about expansion? Where's a bit about expansion? Where's a bit about expansion? Where's a bit about expansion? Okay, so in the operation of developing new shops in small cities, exactly, fantastic, exactly, yes. Inspect the expansion plan, right? Expansion plan for millions build in small cities to open shops in small cities and universities to ascertain the reasonableness of the steady increase in cash sales. You say you have a plan, but then how viable is your plan, right? So let me see your plan. In a sense that, are you building, how many, what are you going to stock it with and all of that, right? So let me see your plan. Okay. Let me see your plan. Yeah. So can we have one last point before we go to the next question? One last point before we go to the next question.
Can we say obtain the discount policy agreement with suppliers and schedule of how it's applied?
Discount
So
policy. Why do you want to do it? Why?
I think I'm more after the schedule of how it's applied to the forecast on purchase of inventory. Because he said that late payment penalty of 5% and early payment discount of 8%. So what did they use to determine if it was early or late, or what was the basis of their forecast?
It is company policy to bring the early payment wherever possible. If they can pay the later payment. So I think it's best if maybe you discuss with. So I feel that's the reason why it's going to, the breakdown of overheads is very important, right? So I feel what you need to do is that discuss with management as regards if maybe the possibility of a late payment, right, has been factored into their preparation of the forecast. What do you think?
Okay, makes sense.
Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Oof. Okay.
I have another point.
Yeah.
So I will recalculate the.
Calculating.
I'll recalculate the. So with regards to the second statement, a discount from suppliers of 8% if it pays within 14 days and all. So I'll recalculate the purchases in order to confirm that it is in line with the analysis of receipts or of payment rather, sorry.
Coming now. Give me 1 second, please. So let's go to here, yeah. So you said we were talking about something about purchases, about 8%.
Yes. So the second statement. I'll recalculate the purchase figure to confirm that it is in line with the analysis stated below. That is, if that's what I would say, but I'm trying to explain my point for that. That is, if the discount applies if it pays within 14 days, if they applied it correctly, something.
If they applied it correctly. So you know what you can say. What you can simply say is either you do two things. It's either as you are discussing with them with the management on the late payments, right? You can simply say you want to see the working papers, right? So you can, because number one, this is your forecast, but then there are some working papers inside this thing, right? So what about inspecting the working papers of the preparer, right? To ascertain that this your 8%, right, has been factored in the calculation of the purchases of inventory. What about that? Because you say you want to recalculate, right? So I should put it like this. So it is, so you wanting to recalculate, you can recalculate, but then again, how would you be able to know when to factor in this 8% and when not to factor it in? The reason why I'm saying that is because you can now you need to know the assumption that is it that they have factored in 8% that they will pay within 14 days across board, because you don't want to use another assumption apart from the assumption, because definitely it will not tie, right? So what I mean is that with their working papers, you will see that, okay, they have used 8% across board. But then again, you yourself, you maybe, for example, you might say, okay, I feel this month they will meet, this month they will not meet it, this month. But then again, all that fluctuation, it would have saved you stress by you just looking at their working papers instead of doing recalculation, right? So your point is still valid, but I would just simply say I think it's best to just look at their working papers, because their working papers will even answer most of all of these things that you are even looking out for. Then another thing that I also need you guys to also look at is whenever you're looking at cash flow forecast, right? Just think about some certain things. So for example, you are telling me that your online marketing campaign, because it's just ideal that for example you are at ShopRite, and then you pass a Miniso store, and then they're like, well, they don't do this, and then they're like 5% discount, right? Or maybe 10% discount, right? Or maybe you drive along Adenio Ogusonya, and then you see 70% discount, 80% discount, clearance sales, all of that, right? So you can't tell me that so that's your marketing campaign. It's just ideal that as your marketing campaign is increasing, because you are pushing you are creating a public awareness. As it is increasing, definitely your revenue should also be what? Increasing. But instead, if you look at their cash flow forecast, you are seeing in here that their marketing campaign is reducing over the years, but then again, their cash sales is increasing. I don't know. Do you guys see that strange? Or is it just me that sees that's very strange? I don't know. Think about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's strange. And also considering the fact that they said that revenue has been declining. So why is it that we now their revenue increasing? Like you said, marketing campaign, instead of it increasing, is reducing. Then it won't flow with what is happening right now. That revenue is declining. Meanwhile, yeah, we see it increasing.
It's increasing, right? So that's the good thing about cash flow forecast. You just think about it. You just have to, so let's just have this before we go to the next question, right? Because the class ends by 3:40. My session, before everybody goes offline, my session ends by 3:40. Yeah. So let's just yeah. So hold up. Yeah. So let's think about it. Discuss with management as regards the reason why the campaign cost is reducing over the forecast period, right? As while cash sales is increasing, as this is an inverse relationship, as this is meant to be a positive. If you write research papers, you usually use the word positive, a direct relationship, right? Because definitely, they should go hand in hand, right? They should go hand in hand. Can we look at the last question, please? 3B.
Sorry.
Can we look at the last? Yes, please. Hi. Hello.
Hands have been raised. I wanted to, talking about the settlement. You made a statement the other time about confirming if it was done across board and all that. Should the 8%, should the settlement discount be considered at all in the cash flow forecast? Since is a settlement discount and not it's not something that's, what if they do not meet the terms for the settlement? Shouldn't it be just the trade payables amount that should be there rather than even the discount? That's my question.
Okay. Good one. So now that's why it's a forecast, because in a forecast I'm thinking everything is going to be fine. I'm thinking I'm going to be happy. I'm thinking everything is going to be fine, right? So so that's just a forecast. So it's not if maybe I want to prepare my forecast that last if maybe everything is on the worst case scenario, if I'm not able to pay anything at all, right? So it's just really a forecast. It's just an assumption, right? But I get what you mean. But then again, I'm preparing my forecast, I'm like, what should stop me from not being able to achieve this incentive? What should stop me, basically, right? So, for example, you know how you recognize revenue when the performance obligation has been satisfied, right? So definitely, right? If maybe, so in my mind, I'm like, what should stop me from not recognizing this revenue? What should stop me from not delivering to the customer? Nothing should stop me on an ideal basis, right? So it's except maybe I want to do worst case scenario forecast, right? So that's why it's always just good to discuss with management, right? But I get your reasoning for that, but it's all discussing with management basically, right? So please go to the last one, right? To the last one, 3B. This is an ethics and other professional issues question. I believe that I think I've solved about 2 ethical questions with you guys. Now, remember, just to reiterate, right? Whenever they ask ethical and other professional issues, right? For under ethical, remember, is self-interest, cast your mind to self-interest, self-review, intimidation, right? Familiarity, and I believe somebody said the last one earlier on, advocacy threats. And she's still owing me an answer. Advocacy threats. Then remember to always squeeze in management threats. Always look out for management threats, right? Then for other professional issues, right? Always cast your mind. So whenever you to always cast your mind to money laundering, right? Fees, custom auditors liability, right? Auditor's liability and advertisements, right? So now in this question, this is what you should be casting your mind to, right? Cast your mind to this. And also, the examiner is looking for some very keywords. Please, in the exam, do not forget these keywords. They are very, very important in the exam, right? Things like integrity, things like objectivity, things like professional skepticism, right? These words will help you out in the exam, right? Things like also NOCLA, just in case, just please look out for this in the exam hall, especially when it comes to, why are these things in red? Especially when it comes to this, even professional skepticism. Just you putting this professional skepticism word alone, without even talking about it, would end you. That's it. All depends on what the question is all about, though. But please look out for those keywords. They are very, very important, right? So we could just look at these ethical professional issues. I'm going to read it so that we don't go on. Yeah. So you have been asked to provide an accountant's report for an audit client, Beaufort Co., which intends to list on the stock market in September 20X5, right? So Beaufort Co. has been an audit client of Moritz & Co. for the last 8 years. Okay, preparing FS to 31st November. Throughout this period, the managing partner at your firm, Francis Stern, has taken personal responsibility for the audit and has increased the total fee income from the client to the level where it represented 16.2% of Moritz & Co. total fee income in 2015. In addition to performing the annual audits, Moritz & Co. also provides accounting and bookkeeping services for Beaufort Co. The accounting and bookkeeping services include the preparation of monthly payroll for the client and maintaining all of the financial records of a small immaterial division of the company. The MD of Beaufort Co., Margaret Shelley, has asked the firm for assistance in the preparation of the share prospectus documents, which will be used to support the company's flotation. The contents of the document will include the following elements: historical financial information prepared to 31st August 2005, profit forecast, a summary of the key risks relating to the client's business, and a business plan outlining the future prospect of the company and recommending the shares to investors. Margaret Shelley has asked if Moritz & Co. can also provide an accountant's report, which will be included in the prospectus, and will cover each of these elements. Beaufort Co. is also currently reviewing the audit appointment and is looking for an audit firm which is capable of taking it through the listing process and providing a full range of services in the future. To comment on the ethical issues, as a result of the listing, planned listing, right, and then the services that they are requesting for you to actually offer. So just give me points. That's all. Just give me points. I just want to just hear points. Just give me points so that I know that everybody's, we're in the same thought process. Just give me points. Points, please. And take cognizance of the fact that the company wants to become listed. Take cognizance of that.
The fees proposed is above the 10% fees allowance. That's how I'll call it.
No, so yeah, so yeah, exactly. So basically, your thought process is right. So according to ACC, the code of conduct, right? So they just simply said that you should not be getting, so your fee from one client should not be more than 50% of your total income, right? Right. So yeah, so fees. So talk about fees, right? Fees, which is going to be self-interest rates. Okay, self-interest rates, right? So what other point again, please? What other point again? Can we raise? What's that point again?
There's management threats in them preparing.
Why do you think there's management threats?
Because they were asked to provide accounting and bookkeeping services.
Management threats, accounting and bookkeeping services. So the reason why instead you target on that self-review threat, right? True. Hold up. Are they going to be for an audit client? Yeah. So you are already auditing them. Barefoot Co is your auditor. Is your audit client, right? So instead of putting on that management threat, instead putting on that self-review threat, simply because that you cannot prepare the accounting books and then now still come and be the one to audit it, right? So please, that is going to be what self-review threats for. You can't prepare the another points, please. And
there's still the management threat for the prospectus.
Okay. Then also, please, another thing also, you cannot, for a listed client, you cannot provide. There's some internal functions that you cannot provide for a listed client. Even though this company is not yet listed, but they are going to be listed, right? But then again, just take it into consideration when you're putting in your answer, right? Yes.
Okay. There's issue with rotation of partner. So they have been an audit client for the last 8 years, and the managing partner has been the one responsible for the audit. So as they are going to be listed, the code requires that they rotate engagement partners after 7 years for a cool-off period of 2 years, in which they won't be involved in any audit or any activity with the client. So
now
let me now
hold you there. So let me hold you there, right? So let me hold you there, right? So the person is not yet sorry. So the person. So let me just hold you there, right? So now the company is not listed, right? So your response will not. Your response will not actually address what you want to, what the examiner is looking for. The company is listed. Yes, I understand only from rotation, right? But instead, 7 years, all of that, right? But now that your 7 years response that you want to put, it's for listed entities, right? So it won't hold weight. But instead, what you can just simply do is that you can leave it under familiarity threats and talk about close business relation. I won't say close business relation, but then just put under familiarity threats and talk about how he has been auditing them for so long, and definitely he is going to be what's the word where you pity somebody when you are, what's that word now?
Sympathetic.
And he won't be skeptical.
Your review will not be thorough. Let me put it like that. Sympathetic, the word. So familiarity.
I think you can try and say like professional skepticism go out the window.
Also, yeah. As the audit partner has been involved for more than, let's say, more than 5 years, right? Thus,
Okay, I know when you were saying something, you said something like they are planning to be listed, right?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Tunde, can you hear me? Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Yes, sir. Hi.
I said, I know you mentioned that the company is planning to be listed, right? I don't know. I know I listened to a video where it was mentioned that when a company is planning to be listed and there's a question around that, you should treat it as if it has been listed. So I don't know if that assumption is right or wrong.
So I can't see the question for me to. So I can't see the question for me to be able to ascertain if maybe that they are going to be listed next year, and then you're also going to be the auditor next year. So if I had the full question, then I can be able to give a conclusion on that, right? But then again, let me ask: did they say that you are, that they're going to be listed during your audit period, or what?
I didn't really see that too, but I know you mentioned something like that. So I was wondering, I've even looked around.
So I can't say anything because I need to have a full idea of the question, right? I need to have a full, yeah. So does anybody have any other points again? Any other
I wanted to mention
So
something.
you said that
Yes.
they have asked them to provide an accountant's report that will be included in the prospectus. Now, the prospectus is going to be used to raise equity capital. So it's an advocacy threat because they would seem as if they are promoting the business of Margaret.
So I also provide the cover. Yeah. So by you preparing that accountant's reports, right? So yeah, advocacy threats, right?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to also mention that there's a bit of a practice management thing here, saying that the managing partner himself personally takes responsibility for the audit. So does that mean that there are no capable ends in the firm to do that? Why is it the managing partner that is taking personal responsibility for the audit?
Because the managing part, does somebody want to help answer that?
Yeah.
Does someone want to help answer that, please? Does anybody want to help to answer that? Okay, so let me say, right? So the partner is the one responsible for the audit, right? The partner is the one responsible for signing on the audit. It is his name. Everything that happens on the audit, he's the one to hold. Like he's basically responsible for every single thing, right? So if anything goes wrong, they say who is the partner, who signed. For example, for example, right? If
Okay, let me
maybe the
try.
manager has done. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
try.
So I think
You were saying something. You stopped. Okay, so let me continue, right? So now, for example, if maybe a qualified opinion is to be issued, right? Like the manager has done their work. Because usually what happens is, so the manager, director, they will do their work, all of that, right? But if maybe something like a material misstatement comes up, right? Definitely they have to discuss with the partner, right? The partner now has to also discuss with other key other key partners that are responsible for, I'll say, some quality partners, right? Some quality partners who are responsible for quality, things as regards consultation, right? So the partner is responsible for having that discussion, and also he literally just owns the audit, right? So that's why so he takes full responsibility. That's the reason why also So even in a group audit, they will tell you that the group auditor has responsibility of the audit, right? So it's still the same thing in here, that the partner has responsibility, which is a good thing, right? Is if maybe they said that the partner was not charging. I believe there was a question that we solved in the last class where they said the partner was not putting so much interest in the audit. Instead, he was putting interest in a service that they were providing for them, which was giving them a significant income. I think that's the last question that we solved, right? So that was where you can raise a practice management issue, that the partner is not giving enough attention to the audit, right? Thus, meaning that there is lack of supervision and lack of review ongoing on that audit, because the partner is not giving enough, he's not charging enough time on that job, right? So yeah, so that just it. So the partner is solely responsible for the audit. Everything that happens in the audit, he must know, because he reviews the file, right? He reviews the sensitive areas on the file, so he must know. Let's have one last point before we go on.
Tunde,
Before we go on. Yeah.
please, can we say intimidation threat? Okay.
Why do you want to say intimidation threats? Why?
Because they are currently reviewing the audit appointment and looking for another audit firm.
Where is it?
The last paragraph says Bifotco is currently reviewing the audit appointment.
Improving their services in the future. So you can put this in your answer as you, so you can put it, so you can either put it, in two places. You can put this, right, in, you can include it when you are talking about how the about this 16.2%, which is greater than the 15% threshold, right? You can put it when you're talking about it also. And secondly, you can also put it under so yeah, so I think that's where you can put it in. But yeah, so you can say intimidation because they don't want to lose the person. So yeah, so you can put it under familiarity, right? We are talking about how the partner has been there for long, and then he's going to, and definitely there is no, and then there could be lack of professional skepticism, and then he's going to be sympathetic to them, right? So definitely it means that anything goes, and then you can also back up your point saying that as BFO is looking for another auditor, right? It means that the partner will definitely want to let things fly, right? In case maybe there are issues, he wants to let things fly so as to retain the portfolio of BFO's code. So yeah, you can put it in either of these two places. You can just find a way to just put it in for the examiner and get your points.
Let me say one last point.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, so they've asked for assistance in preparing the prospectus. So create a management threat, because it will be as if you are assuming management responsibility because it's supposed to be management responsibility to prepare a prospectus. And it also creates a familiarity threat, because you'll be involved with senior management if you have to do this, and if you get familiar with them, it will impair your ability to challenge them and any representations from them during the audit.
Sorry, but my internet had. Hello? Hi, everybody.
Hi, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, my internet had issues, yeah. You were saying something. A lady was speaking.
Yes, I was speaking. I actually spoke. So, should I continue now? Can I say it again?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. So, I said that they have asked for assistance in preparing the prospectus. So, it would present a management threat as Beaufort will be seen as assuming responsibility because it's management's responsibility to prepare the prospectus. It also would present a familiarity threat because for you to um prepare a prospectus, you have to be involved with management, you have to have discussions with them. So it might create a level of familiarity between you and them, and you won't be able to challenge their reports or information during the audit.
So, that's fine. That's actually fine. I was thinking of another point that you could also even raise. So we have discussed the long association of the partner, right? Familiarity threat. We have also discussed about the fees, right? We have also discussed as regards the bookkeeping and payroll service, which will give you a self-review threat. We have discussed about management threats, preparing the prospectus. We have also spoken about intimidation threat as regards the audit appointment issue that is happening, in the sense that they're looking for another auditor. But what about other professional issues? Nobody said anything about other professional issues. Oh, wow. Hello? Other professional issues.
Okay, professional issues. I think we can talk about the quality of the work. So, for example, it says here that they are the ones that prepare accounting and bookkeeping services, and since they're also the auditors, they would be the ones who audit it. So, they might not be preparing. They might not be preparing it to the best quality, and then since they are the one that they are also reviewing what they've prepared, there might be some issues with the quality of their works, so to speak.
Quality of their work. So, whenever that we're talking about professional issues, right? Just like what so what are in a way you are thinking about quality issue. Sometimes in a question they will say, what are the quality control, the quality, ethical, and other professional issues raised, right? So you are delving towards that bit of quality, which was not what was even asked, and even the way you are tilting it is a little bit wrong, right? So the other professional issues, I already raised it in there. Is there anything like money laundering? Is there anything like on advertisement, right? We already spoke about fees, which is coming from both professional issues and also even both from the ethical standpoint. But do you think there's any other thing again that you feel?
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
so they're trying to list on stock markets.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility that their money, this could be wrong. Their revenue figures contained in their financial statement could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think I'm right.
So would you now say that you are the auditor? That you are doing what's the word? That you're not doing your job, basically, right? So let's just end it here for today. So Shay is going to come in by
Sorry, I have a question.
yeah. What's the question? Hello. What's the question? Okay, you can say.
So, remember that we said that they are not
Yeah.
Your line is breaking. Your line is breaking.
Okay,
Is
I
it
think
just
I'll
me?
just try and send it on.
Yeah. Just send me a private message, right? Yeah.
Please,
Okay,
please, can I
thank you
ask a
very much.
question?
Yeah,
Sorry,
sure.
go.
What's the question?
Okay, yes, please. So my question is on the first one, the 3A, is about the fact that they are planning to extend its operations. So I want to ask that obtaining board minutes, like minutes from board meeting, because of that plan is actually not something the management can take solely, so it has to be with the board. So can that come in?
Oh yeah, sure. So even the plan for the extension of the loan, right? Even apart from even so you can inspect the board minutes of meeting, right? Just to confirm that exactly see the reason why they actually want the extension of the loan, right? And even in the board minutes of meeting, it also explains how they plan on executing this extension, right? So it gives you more idea as regards the sort of assumptions that that thought process in deriving the assumptions used in preparing the forecast, right? So definitely the board needs a meeting. They would have said, okay, fine, you know what, with this extra $5 billion, we are going to put the money into maybe it is, so they said stores and all of that, extension of facilities. But then what sort of facilities, right? Then even in there, right, you also need to ask management that, okay, fine, you know what, you say you want to, is it that you are going to construct or you're going to rent these facilities, right? These are the kind of discussions in your audit procedures that you ask management. Are you going to rent or are you going to even construct? Because number one, we can't see it in that their breakdown of their cash outflow. What we can just see is overheads, salaries, and I've forgotten the third one, right? But yeah, thank you for raising that point. Is either you are discussing inspecting of board minutes of meeting, but please remember, in your solution, always state the what and the why. I have marked some mock scripts, and I am saying that people are still making the mistake of they are not saying the reason why they are going to carry out an audit procedure. They just simply say inspect black XYZ. But then why? I'm not saying, some people are not putting it there, right? Which is please, guys, right? This is 2 weeks to the exam. You must always put the what and the why. Also, some people are not starting with verb, action words. Action words are procedure, right? Do not start with board minute or meeting. No. Start with verbs, action words. Please, it's very, very important that you do not mix up audit evidence with audit procedures and vice versa. Is very, very important. I see that in there and I'm wondering to myself why. Secondly, people are not calculating materiality and telling the examiner whether this item is material to the FS or not. Why are people not doing that? That is extra mark. At this point in the exam, at this point in preparation, we need to always not forget that. Calculating materiality and telling the examiner if this item is material to the FS or not is very, very crucial. At least it gives you extra half of 1 mark. Please, it's very, very important. When I'm done with the script, I'll send it to each and everybody, everybody that has submitted, and I would also put in my comments so that you know where to work on, right? But please, it's really, really crucial that you take this little tidbits. Yeah. So are we fine?
Sorry, Tunde, for the second question that talks about preparing the successors, is it possible, can you say anything about being liable, the auditor's liability?
Being what? Come again, please.
Auditor's liability, professional liability, if there is any information in the prospectus that is not correct or something.
So that auditor's liability comes into play whereby, for example, you have done something and then your client is coming after you, right? So maybe you not do so. So for example, right? Let's say for example that the partner was meant to It's an audit, right? And areas like revenue, in areas that, let's say fraud risk areas like revenue, and also, in practice, right, there's always what we, so there's always like a work paper whereby we will look at journals that have the tendency based on, so we would have set the criteria and would have said, okay, for, what, journals that meet our criteria, those are journals that we think they are fraudulent, right, based on our criteria, right? And by the time we now start asking for support documents and all of that, right, we say, okay, fine, there is no exception with this entry, right? So the partner is meant to review such work paper. Things like revenue, areas that you feel that management, based on your understanding of their business, areas that you feel that management can manipulate, right? Things like revenue, sensitive things like even maybe PPE, for example, right? Or maybe income taxes, we partner review it, maybe. But yeah, things like that, right? You definitely want, so imagine if maybe the partner did not review things like revenue, there was no proper supervision or review, right? Definitely it poses a threat of auditor's liability, because in the sense that the clients can come and say, you guys don't do your work well, and blah blah blah, and I'm going to sue you, right? And there we go. So that's how auditor's liability comes into play, right? So there just has to be something in the question that just really just shows that there was no proper supervision, no proper review. There's no, you get me? Yeah.
Hi, Tunde. Why don't
Yeah.
you look at it this way, that if after preparation of this prospectus, people rely on it and then make decisions on it, won't the auditors be liable?
So yeah, that can fly. That can fly. Yeah. So it can be held liable. That would, yeah. But please remember to put it under advocacy threat, this preparing of prospectus. But yeah,
Yeah.
it can be held liable. Yeah, it can. Okay. So are we fine? We are fine. Yeah. Edna, your hand is up. Oh. Hello, Edna. Okay. So no problem. Please, if you have any other question, you can just send me a private message and I will respond. I'll respond when I can, right? But in the night.
Sorry,
Yeah, hi.
please, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
You said something about auditors' liability with respect to preparation of the prospectus. Please, can you just repeat what you meant by that? Sorry.
Okay, so for example, just like what she said, right? So I'm preparing the documents, right? And I'm trying to collect documents. Hello?
Hi, Tunde. Sorry, it's Shay. Are we on break now?
We're about to go on a break but I want to respond to the last question.
Okay, so do I just work with what time?
4:15. We'll be done by 4:15.
Okay, so we can all take 15 minutes, then we come back for a 50-mark question by 4:30. Thank you.
Okay. So the question you raised as regards the prospectus, right? So for example, right, I'm the auditor and I prepare that for my clients, right? And then maybe for example, in what I prepared, right? So maybe I missed out something, right? In my or maybe I didn't state it something in its true nature. For example, if maybe they are currently owing somebody, right? Or maybe there's a pending litigation that can literally, let me say there's like a breach in regulation which could lead to the cessation of their operating license, right, in the country, right? And I don't simply state it in there, right, intentionally, based on, remember, I'm so familiar with my clients that I want my clients to, for him to be bought, I think. So definitely, the investors, right, they can definitely sue me that I have not shown the true nature of Belarus, right? So yeah, so that's where auditor's liability comes into play. If maybe I don't do my work well in stating the true nature, the true state of the business, right? So are we okay? Any last question? Oh, we're fine.
Tunde, sorry, are you going to send this in Word document?
Yeah, sure. I'll send the Word document. I'll upload it immediately on the Microsoft Teams so that everybody just have access to it. Then secondly, what I'll also do is that I'll also even upload the ACC answer also. I'll also upload that also so that everybody can actually see and just assess their answers and the responses basically. Yeah, so I'll upload the two of them. Yeah.
Hello, today.
Yes, hi, yeah.
Please kindly help us drop it on WhatsApp because I'm having challenges in downloading from the Teams.
Okay, that would be okay later at night or during the week, but yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Just do a reminder, yeah, and I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot now. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Tunde.
Bye too. Thank you for the session.
Thanks.
All right, let's settle down. Time to continue. Okay. Shut up.